It's the book of 1 Corinthians 14 and 39. And it reads, "Wherefore, brethren, covet to prophesy, and forbid not to speak with tongues." First and foremost, before I get started, I want to thank Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders, the GMS, who teach and rule well, taught me his truth. And salutation to you brothers and sisters that are out there listening, learning, fighting this good fight of faith. So it's going to be a quick hit, something spiritual just, happened, and, I was just inspired through the spirit, to do a lesson, So, I just went, before camp, went to use the restroom, at a fancy hotel over here by our campsite. And when I went to use the restroom, there was like a gift bag, and it said Covet on it. And that's what I'll put in the post-production, that picture that I took of the bag. But it was on the gift bag, and it said Covet. What it, just Covet. That's all it said, And I thought it was spiritual because I was actually going to another spot, and then I ended up, using that stall for the bathroom, and lo and behold, on the door there's a bag hanging there, a gift bag, and it said Covet. So I already knew that was the spirit for me to see that, And this is the definition for covet. It says to covet means to strongly desire to or crave something, especially something that belongs to someone else, often with feelings or of jealousy or possessiveness, right? So it's really the first point, to yearn for, long for, or crave, right? Because Esau does it in a wicked way. He covets fields and take them by violence. But to covet to prophesy is an honorable thing, and as we, us sincere brothers who are men of the Lord, and covet to bring out this word and covet to prophesy, as long as we have that same spirit on us, the Lord will continue to increase us. And that's why we got to continually ask Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi for the increase, man. Because as the scriptures say, let's get that. See what you see. KJV. This is Matthew 13 and 17, and it reads, "For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them." Man. And that's the spirit, we got to remember, because, blessed, as Yahawashi said, blessed are your eyes for they see, and your ears for they hear, man. So we have to go out there and bid as many to the marriage as we can. But we have to remember, faith is a gift. Faith was given to us to believe the words and to preach them, to the children of Israel, man. And to Lord's will, they get the increase, man. So they continue to grow in this thing and believe, excuse me, and ultimately be saved, man. Because that's the goal, man. To preach to the children of Israel so that they would believe and receive salvation, and to preach to the other nations and let them know the judgment and 2/3 of our people, man. Of the coming calamities, to come, which are all prophecies, man. So there's a mighty work that we've been allowed to partake in, and we have to continue in that. And even when we have our low moments, in the spirit and everything, and we feel down, and we don't, Satan tries to mess with us and put that doubt demon out there. This is part of the fight, man. You know, as Apostle Paul spoke about running that race, man. It's a part of running that race, fighting that good fight of faith, man. You know, always showing up, never quitting. You know, no matter what befalls you. As Apostle Paul said, he is convinced that nothing can separate him from the love of Hamashiach, man. And that's the type of time that we always got to be on. You know, no matter what befalls us, we're going to show up and do this work. Because we covet, we yearn to prophesy, man. We yearn to do the work of the Lord, to bring out the words of the Lord, Yahawashi, in this current, present evil world, man. And that's what we always have to be on, man, no matter what. Because there's a lot of these you know, elites and you know, wicked jakes in the world. You know, they're pretty much praying against us, man. You know, they're wanting our downfall. You know, they're wanting us to fail. You know, they're wanting us to bow out and give up and quit. You know, but the men of the Lord, they're not going to do it. Why? Because they covet to prophesy. They yearn to do the work of the Lord, man. You know, as let's get that. Let's see. Jeremiah words. Shut up in my mouth. I think that's after shut. Words of, yeah, there it goes. Yahawashi. This is Jeremiah 20:9. Then said I will not make mention of him, nor speak any more in his name, but his word was in mine heart as a burning. So even if we try to convince ourselves that we're not going to do this work, you know, that yearning for us to prophesy is in us, man. You know, we have to embrace that. And it says, but his word was in mine heart as a burning fire shut up in my bones, and I was weary with forbearing, and I could not stay. Right? So he couldn't not speak the words of the Lord, man. It was fire in him. Just like, you know, Jadakiss said, you know, the word, you know, it's not the word, but he says it's, you know, it's so hot in his mouth, you got to spit it out, you know, when he's talking about rapping and everything. And that's the same way the men of the Lord that are covenant to prophesy can feel. Even if we, you know, you might have a thought that, you know, oh, you know, I'm not really going to say much at camp today, or I'm just going to read, fall back, or however, whatever thoughts you might have. In the midst of speaking, brothers are going to say things, and you're just going to be compelled, right, to prophesy, to speak of prophecy, right? So that's what it's all about, coveting to prophesy, man. You know, we are prophets, and Lord's will we're of that number of Yahawashi, man. And we have a job to do. And as the scriptures say, the spirit of Yahawah by Hashem Yahawashi is the spirit of prophecy, man. So you can't help but prophesy and covet to prophesy, to yearn to prophesy, if you truly believe in Yahawah by Hashem Yahawashi and his words and everything that is coming, you know, upon this earth via prophecy, man. So that's pretty much it, you know. Remember, brothers, you know, be in that spirit. Covet to prophesy, man. Yearn, you know. Don't give up. Don't quit. Don't, you know, when it gets hard, you know, when it gets tough, the tough get going, man. You got to be in that spirit, man. Because there's going to be a lot of men that claim to be men of the Lord that are going to quit in these days, man. You know, as the Apostle Tahar said, a year of apostates, agents, and sellouts, I think, roughly paraphrasing. So there's going to be a lot of men that are been claiming to be of the fold, but they came in some other way, man. You know, and that's part of the battle, man, to continue, even as you see men that you might have thought was riding with you or on your same side, see them fall by the wayside, man. You know, there's some of them that will endure for a period of time, some of them will fall out. quickly. Some of them will be the ones, the seeds planted on that good ground, and they're the ones that will endure to the end. And that's what we hope, because we do know that Satan has desired to sift us, just like Yahawashi said to Apostle Peter, you know. So, you know, stay, you know, hold fast, brothers. Keep fighting, keep striving. We're almost out of here. Remember, continue to covet, to prophesy, man. You know, continue to believe in the words of Yahawah Yahawashi, and keep on pushing, you know. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm at my campsite. I hope and pray this lesson was edifying as always to the elect. In closing, I want to thank Yahawah Yahawashi for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson, and I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS who teach and rule well. You taught me this truth. Your salutation, my fellow brethren that are pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. Excuse me. To you all, I want to say shalom, abab abal, and kwam yasharaba. Hey, shalom. To the next one.